Hey, Seaton Reid. Now, you're an interesting fellow. I think that, I haven't said that before, but nice to meet a lawyer who's personally helps his client to the point of leading them to a detox meeting. You're a lawyer and a friend worth having. I just can't think of anyone else that's been in your shoes.
Well, it wasn't just me. There were 3 men who walked into that meeting and there were only 2 who walked out, and I was one of them.
Is that right?
Yeah, but it was the only thing to do at the time.
Yeah. And how come you took this on? Did you?
Well, I have to say that it was our mutual for Graham's and my mutual friend David Hobbs who called for help. And so I lent some assistance to Hobbsy when he was in this, when he was trying to help Graham to help himself. So I can't take the credit for it, but I did lend some help, and I'm pleased I did.
Good. So you've seen some pretty tough days, and but now it's a change. Those tough days were the.
Yes, I saw Graham go through the worst of his problems. I was with him in Westport. We were there on business the very day that Maureen rang him to say that Shelley's diagnosis was cancerous, and I hoped at the time that it was something that could be treated, and I watched as it couldn't, and I watched the damage that went afterwards. And yeah, I've seen some tough times with Graham, but I'm really proud of the way that he's managed to get on top of all that and getting back to work. It's a great idea and a good rule, and I think it's done him the world of good, as has writing his book.
Yeah, so this book, did you ever think that was ever going to happen? Did you think he had that book mentality?
No, because Graham is a really clever man with numbers, and he's pretty shrewd about people. But I think he would be the first to admit that when I first met him anyway, he wasn't a man of letters. Since then he's been reading and writing. So no, he's taken me by surprise, to be fair, but I'm pleasantly surprised.
So those first years, how long you've known him, about how long?
I've known Graham and Maureen since about 1991. And when they first bought this hotel, and I was involved in that, and that's how I came to get to know them in the first place.
So he's been through a few lawyers by then. You've obviously touched the spot.
I guess we shared a few common interests in those days, and I did spend an awful lot of time here, and I helped promote the business. I worked very long and hard at the bar late at night with many of the clients, encouraging them to come back and stay further. But yeah, no, Graham and I are friends, and if you have a relationship that helps to build a business relationship, I think that's a good idea. Yeah,
to go through these times, these good times and hard times, but to take him to an AA or detox centre, that must be something that you found.
I found it wasn't something I enjoyed doing. It was a very sad time. Anybody who's had to deal with alcoholics would understand that, but it had to be done, and it wasn't the cure, but it was the beginning of the cure. And he later on, basically the cure came from himself, as I gather it has to happen, but it was the beginning. Yeah. So that's, he's forgiven me. He wasn't happy,
I'm sure he has.
But he wasn't happy the next day when we wouldn't let him out.
I don't think he knew where he was coming from, but obviously you stood behind him, and that's really, really proud to see that. So thank you very much, and a pleasure to meet you.
My pleasure.